Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. It is episode 20 of the Look Inside series, heading to the Mile High City, Denver Broncos. 10-7 last year, playoff team under head coach Sean Payton, reluctantly. Rookie quarterback from last year coming into his second year. A lot of young weapons, some veterans, or at least one veteran they added in free agency. This should be a fun offense. Not sure if we see the exact same offense come the trade deadline due to an expiring veteran wide receiver contract that might get traded. But a very interesting lineup and cast of characters for one Bo Nix to take advantage of this upcoming season for the Denver Broncos. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. Same three idiots talking about playoff teams.
Yeah.
At least we're there, guys. At least we're there. And it's my favorite head coach. Everyone's favorite head coach for fantasy football purposes, going back to his Robert Meacham and Lance Moore days. Remember when those guys existed and were relevant on your fantasy rosters?
Fun days.
Good times.
They're not relevant in NFL history. They're only relevant on your fantasy rosters in the late 2000s and early 2010s.
Sort of like Michael Thomas.
At least he was like a wide receiver.
Michael Thomas was like such an anomaly for a Sean Payton offense. Like when you look at target shares and all of that, that was so
Marcus
out
Colston.
of the ordinary.
Exactly.
And even Colston never had target shares like that.
No, but he was an absolute menace out of Hofstra.
Yeah.
Long Island legend. 10-7. Sean Payton's the coach. Sean Payton is the play caller. Because why not? I mean, you won one Super Bowl. Haven't made it back, but you won one off the back of a big travesty. But you won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I still think if Hurricane Katrina doesn't happen, they don't win. I also think that if Ray Lewis doesn't announce his retirement, the Ravens don't win that Super Bowl. I am a big proponent of these big things playing into team success. So I think Sean Payton's a fraud, but here we go. Bo Nix is the quarterback 8. How do we know this, Josh? Well, we know this because of Underdog. That's where we get all our stuff. This is as of July 8th, the recording of this episode. This is the ADP as of July 8th. We use Underdog. Again, if you have not watched any of these shows and you're brand new, we use Underdog because it's the most up-to-date, most degenerate-friendly for ADP. The ADP is best ball. We may transition over into redraft as we get closer to people actually doing redraft. Yeah. But as of right now, best ball is the best case for us. 12-team, half-point PPR, best ball leagues. And you can go to Underdog, use promo code WOFF, WOFF, first-time deposit and free pick up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So if you're really feeling frisky, bet a G on the Broncos. If you have an inside track like Cleveland Guardians pitcher, I forget his name, who will be banned for life from ever playing in the MLB ever again after his absolute dog shit performances he put together. If you don't know that story, go look it up. It's actually hilarious. But Bo Nix is the quarterback 8. No one thought he'd be good. Most people on the show didn't think he'd be good. There was a lot of people.
We literally said that he was Sean Payton's
we said that he was tailor-made for this.
Yeah, but I still didn't think Bo Nix was going to be good.
I didn't think he'd do what he did his rookie season. I will admit that.
None of us. So no fantasy analyst mentioned anything about this kid's rushing ability. And that's, I think, the part that caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, he almost doubled his best college season last year when it came to rushing. So yeah, I'll give you that, Joe. Nobody thought he'd be this good as a rushing QB. I'm using very loosely. So.
All I know is we had him ranked higher than Anthony Richardson. And I think that's a win. I didn't do rankings, but he was ranked higher than Anthony Richardson.
Obviously.
Yeah. RB1 is RJ Harvey. Hello, rookie. RB22. The veteran J.K. Dobbins at RB40 and Audric Estime at 77. Julian McLaughlin. RB83. Sean Payton's resident wannabe Reggie Bush is not doing so hot on the depth chart right now.
No, nor are my early best ball drafts.
No, they're not. Wide receiver 1 is Cortland Sutton. The tease on he might get traded. I don't think he will, but it is an expiring veteran wide receiver contract. There's a chance.
Signed him to an extension.
He's not Peyton's guy. There's a whole bunch of reasons he could get moved out.
Yep. Marvin Mims, wide receiver 59. Devon Vele, the 6'6" slot receiver. Let's get that straight.
He's also like 28. It's
he was
very strange.
Rookie.
Legend. Absolute weapon. Devon Vele, wide receiver 104. Yep. Pat Bryant, the whitest black guy you know, wide receiver 74. Pat Bryant.
Speaking of which,
sounds like a pitcher.
He's being comped to Michael Thomas by Sean Payton right now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Pat Bryant sounds like Pete Crow Armstrong from the Chicago Cubs. Like, you know that guy's white.
Did you know
Pete Crow Armstrong?
Did you know Pete Crow Armstrong's mom was the mom in Little Big League?
No. Why would I know that? I didn't know Pete Crow Armstrong existed until a week ago.
Oh, step your game up, my guy. PCA.
I'm sorry. I'm inside Banana Ball, so those are the players that I care about. The Banana Ball players, the true athletes. Okay, these guys can
Pete Crow. You would love Pete Crow Armstrong.
I've seen highlights. He's amazing.
Dog. Yeah.
He's amazing. White chocolate. Yeah. And then Troy Franklin, Bo Nix's Oregon darling.
Yes.
Wide receiver 99. He's bad. He's not.
No, he's a beanpole. He's like 6'3", 170.
He's not good. That's plain and simple. He's not good.
Hey, he has a job. He has a job because his quarterback got him.
He has a job because of his quarterback. That's true. Troy Franklin drafted over Ladd McConkey.
No, he wasn't. Franklin fell to the fourth round.
Was he not at the
fourth round?
Yeah,
no. No, he fell to the fourth or fifth round.
Of? Why did I think that?
Jalen Polk.
Yeah, well, no, don't remind me of that shit. I know. I'm very aware of what we did with Jalen Polk. All right? Very aware of what we did with Jalen Polk. I'm thinking of the mock drafts that had Franklin going to the Broncos.
There you go.
I'm like, okay. Oregon receivers.
That would make more sense.
I vividly remember. I'm like,
I do that sometimes
going
too.
Like 30 to the Bills.
I do that sometimes as well, though, Joe, where I get so caught up in mock drafts. I'll think a player went to a team. I'll be like, oh yeah, he plays for the Bills, and you're like, no, he plays for the Broncos. I'm like, oh shit, it was the mock drafts.
It was 100% the mock draft. They had him going at 30 of the Bills. They're like, oh yeah, they need a downfield threat, so they took Keon Coleman, who can't separate. Like what?
And Troy Franklin didn't even average 10 yards per catch last year
because he's bad. I can't stress that enough.
Being told.
He's bad. Evan Ingram is the tight end 1, the tight end 8 in fantasy football. Very interesting to see what Sean Payton does. He has not really had a tight end since Jimmy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Ingram is not Jimmy Graham. I cannot stress that enough.
Very different players.
Jimmy Graham was 6'6", 260 pounds. Evan Ingram is not that.
Yeah. Jimmy Graham was a fucking Mack truck.
He was a brick
that could box out.
Moving.
I'm very curious to read your article, Ryan, when you write that on Evan Ingram.
I think Ingram has a good season. I think Ingram has a good season.
Well, I was going to say, it's going to come down to a volume play.
when people were talking about him going there, they're like, oh, Sean Payton's got a tight end again. He doesn't have Jimmy Graham. Let's get this straight, people. Jimmy Graham was, for like 3 years, it was him and Rob Gronkowski were 1A, 1B in the NFL.
Yep.
And there wasn't a competition. So
when Graham, Gates, and Gronk were all like on top of it, that was the best time for fantasy tight ends ever, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
You had two literal like former power forwards in college basketball and a meathead.
Yeah.
Can't get any better.
Who could have been a power forward in college basketball?
Rob Gronkowski's the guy that like played hockey for 2 years. He was the center. He just outgrew it. He was the goalie, took too many shots to the head. They're like, all right, kid, go play football. You're outgrowing this.
You're done here.
Thoughts on this offense? It was a surprise last year. I don't think anybody thought the offense was going to do what they did. And even, I don't think anybody had them even pegged as a playoff team.
Yeah.
So it was overall a surprise. The defense always ends up at some point showing up for games in helping them win. But the offense was a big part in this team's success last year. Ryan, I'll start with you. I don't know your overall thoughts on this team, but it does feel like it's going to be hard to repeat what they did last year.
It's unsurprising you don't know my overall thoughts because I don't know my overall thoughts. Now, one thing I will say is you say it's unlikely that they repeat last year. I don't know about that. Just looking, I run 2-year stats for my projections. For the last 2 years, the quarterback one for Sean Payton's offense has completed 66.4 or 66.3% of their passes. They've thrown for 28 or 30 touchdowns. Like, it's pretty similar down the board of what you're going to get. Now, on-field success, are they going to be able to keep winning games? Their defense is so fucking good, and they showed that last year, and are they going to be able to do that again for back-to-back seasons? That's probably where the bigger questions lie, but they just traded for a corner again, if I remember correctly, or drafted one.
They drafted Jahdae Barron out of Alabama, I believe.
No, Texas,
sorry. Texas. And then they signed Talanoa Hufanga in free agency, which is a huge pickup.
When I initially went into this team, I went in and gave them like a lot more passes. And then I thought better of it. I don't think Sean Payton's going to be like, hey, Bo Nix, you look great last year. Let's throw the ball, 600 times this year. I think they're going to probably try to run something very similar to what they did last year. My biggest concern with this offense, let me make sure I'm not about to step on Josh's toes. Yeah, neither one of us picked to talk about these running backs, is the rookie fever at this running backs. And Josh, you actually alluded to this at the last episode we recorded for Tampa Bay. The rookie fever is out of control with RJ Harvey. And I know our good friend of the show, Vince Mapstone, was a big RJ Harvey guy coming into the draft. Every report is that this is J.K. Dobbins' 1A role in this offense. And I think they're just going to split down the middle. And unless one of them, and it could be Harvey, proves to be a very adept receiving back, I don't think there's a ton of value in this running back room. So overall, outside of Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton, I'm concerned about this offense because everybody else's role seems very ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, really, let's call a spade a spade. Sean Payton's offense hasn't changed in 25 years. He's going to do exactly what he did. Correct. But I think last year he got his quarterback. This is what we saw last year. That is what he wants this offense to look like, just with a more efficient running game, right? That's why they went out and they spent that second round pick to get RJ Harvey. You bring in J.K. Dobbins, who looked a lot better coming off the knee and leg injuries, etc. So, and they have a solid run blocking line as well. And that is ultimately that's how J.K. Dobbins succeeds. You put a good line in front of him, and one cut, go, stay healthy, you've got a solid running back. But he gains yards in chunks. And I think that's where he can sort of play that Mark Ingram role in this offense. And RJ Harvey can be a version of Alvin Kamara, a little younger, speedier, catch some passes. Dobbins has never been utilized as a pass catcher in this, and really in his career, just simply because it's Greg Roman's offense and Greg Roman doesn't throw to the running back. So I would be curious to see how much Dobbins will be utilized in the passing game. Which honestly, as I go through and I look at my projections, I'm probably going to end up bumping him up more because I still have 31 targets to Jaleel McLaughlin, and I think bringing in J.K. Dobbins just basically sealed that kid's fate. Yeah. But I mean, this offense is going to have one target hog, and when I say target hog, I'm thinking like really no more than 25% target share. Courtland Sutton was just over 23%, I believe, last year. But then you're going to have a whole big jumble of people anywhere between 80 and like 40 targets. And it's just going to kind of depend on who's healthy, who's not healthy, who's effective, what route they're running, all that good jazz. Because you look at Franklin, Vele, Mims, all those guys were between 40 and 50 targets last year, like 40 and 55. And the tight end didn't matter. But of course, you bring in Evan Ingram, they're now going to utilize the tight end position. Everybody's talking about, Ingram's going to play this joker role that, Sean Payton loves, etc. They never really utilized this, quote, joker role until Taysom Hill got there.
Yeah.
And Evan Ingram is a world better athlete than Taysom Hill. Let's be honest here. But Evan Ingram, for as athletic as he was when he came into the league, has never really been utilized as a downfield seam stretcher. He's always been in between 10 and 11 yards per reception. So you're basically just getting Jason Witten at the tight end position. So I don't really see how Evan Ingram is going to live up to that draft value. So like that's where to me, this is Cortland Sutton. It's Bo Nix. Like these are really the guys that I'm willing to take at their current ADPs, because everybody else, like with a higher end, like running backs, I think that there's way too much projection when we don't know things. But then you get into guys like, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, who possess some level of upside where their draft cost isn't so high that if they don't pay off, all right, I can cut bait and I'm done with it, right? That's kind of how I look at this offense.
Not that Jason Witten is a bad
comparison. No, he's not at all. But he's a volume play. He needed that 100+ targets.
It's just disrespectful to Evan Ingram's athletic ability to compare him
to Jason
Witten.
Again, I agree, but nobody's utilized him to his athletic ability.
And I agree. And
he's 30 years old now, so why would a head coach start it now? Like that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think a 30-year-old Evan Ingram's more athletic than a 15-year-old Jason Witten. I'm putting that out there. It's just my guess. Watching Jason Witten play, it was like watching someone move in slow motion. Yeah. He was one of the best tight ends of his generation.
Always where he
undoubtedly, always reliable, always open, always caught the football. He just moved at the speed of snail.
Yeah.
But during his era, you didn't need to be fast as a tight end, right? You didn't need to run a 4.6 or a 4.7. Rob Gronkowski came into the game and said, we need to do that now. But I just found the comparison is hilarious. I'm just picturing Evan Ingram and Jason Witten in a 40-yard dash. And one's in the end zone and the other's still on the opposite 20, like when they started. So I'd find that funny in my head. Okay, a couple guys we're going to talk about. We'll start in the quarterback room because Bo Nix is being drafted at the quarterback 8. Again, feels high. Feels like that's probably his ceiling.
I was going to say, it feels like the Baker Mayfield conversation all over again. I'm not going to go negative on Bo Nix. What I found interesting about Bo Nix is if you didn't pay a ton of attention last year, what this kid did running the ball was extremely surprising. 5th most carries amongst quarterbacks. His company, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, very next, Anthony Richardson. One of these things is not like the other.
But correct me if I'm wrong, they weren't really designed.
Yeah,
a lot of them weren't designed. They were scrambles.
Yep. 430 yards. So 5th most carries, 8th most yards. But he did find the end zone 4 times. Watching Bo Nix run, it gives you, God, I don't want to keep just talking about the Tampa Bay episode, but it gives you Baker Mayfield type vibes. And so you just wonder, we talked in the Tampa Bay episode, we got the best from Baker we've ever gotten from him last year. We can't expect that to go up. Josh just mentioned Bo Nix ran for double his best season in his first year in the NFL. If that goes down, Bo Nix becomes a lot less interesting. And the reason this came to light for me, this is going to air a week from now and nobody's going to care about this anymore, but I was looking at my Scott Fishbowl rankings and there's a steep drop off for rushing quarterbacks, and Bo Nix is that drop off. And so I was like, wow, Bo Nix is like the dividing line, because right now, Josh, I've kind of projected him what he did last year and I have him at like 85 carries. But my goodness, if he turns into a pocket passer, I'm going to look very, very foolish. And it's not like this is unheard of. And it's not like it's unheard of with Oregon quarterbacks, because Justin Herbert had an excellent rookie year running the football. And then until last year with Greg Roman, he kind of stopped doing that shit. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because, we're talking about, the potential for him to decrease from a rushing perspective. We were all basically saying that Sean Payton looks at Bo Nix like Drew Brees. He threw for over 3,800 yards in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Who's to say he doesn't top 4,000 this year?
And that
makes up for, losing 100 rushing yards, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think with Bo Nix, to me, it's going to be one or the other. I think if the passing yards go up, then yeah, the rushing yards probably, come down a little bit. But if the rushing yards stay the same, I think the passing yards probably end up staying the same too. So at that point, it becomes, does he regress to 24, 25 touchdowns? Or do we get typical Sean Payton quarterback play and he's 30 plus, right? Marvin Mims went from 1 touchdown to 6 in 2 years. Courtland Sutton's typically an 6, 7, 8, but 10 plus touchdown guy. You've got solid running back play. You've got Evan Ingram, who doesn't score a ton, but if they want to use him that way, he's got the athletic ability to be a productive tight end in this offense. And that's why I think that for me, Bo Nix is one of those guys in that bottom half of the top 10, top 12 that I'm okay taking at cost, because he showed that he has that rushing upside, and you're okay taking that, because if that goes away, I think it translates more to his passing upside.
Yeah.
But, unlike you, Ryan, I still projected him I got him at 80 carries. He's under 400 yards for me, but I still have him at 5 touchdowns, and he comes in as my QB7.
Also my QB7.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to think.
That's a first.
No, it's
That's
not.
funny, because I said the same thing about this offense. And Joe, it's such a good point, because like they were so different last year than what we expected them to be.
I think that this year is going to look just like last year. That's what I think.
I can't get over in my head that Sean Payton just screws fantasy managers on a consistent basis. He's Kyle Shanahan, but like not injury related.
That's why his offenses are perfect for best ball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're great for best ball.
That's exactly.
If you had every New Orleans Saint on your 2008 best ball team, you won. Like that was.
Well. I've been grabbing a ton of Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, and even Troy Franklin as like last picks of best ball drafts, just because
Ryan,
you don't know.
Can drop Troy.
You never know.
You can get rid of him.
I've been doing a lot of best ball on DraftKings this year, because Underdog had its issues with New York, and you get 20 rounds, so I have a very big roster.
I think you should do some soul searching, because I don't think that Troy Franklin.
I'm not saying I have a ton of him. I'm just saying.
Couple dark
there's 626 players in the NFL. I don't know how many are offensive players. I think you probably just cut them in half. So let's just say 313 players are offensive players in the NFL. Let's take out the offensive linemen. Let's call it 200 players are available in fantasy football drafts in the NFL. I'd venture to say that Troy Franklin
your numbers are way low, but that's fine.
It's fine. That's where we're at. Where did I pull? I pulled 240
guys get drafted in every best ball draft. We'll just
great. Troy Franklin's probably 252. Like that's, let's not start drafting Troy Franklin. All right, I get it. It's a dart throw at that point, but like, let's point the darts at the bullseye and not at the one.
One thing I learned from the great Justin Herzig is look for differentiation. Having 1 or 2 rosters with Troy Franklin isn't the worst thing in the world, Joe.
Yes, it is, because you're losing money.
That guy's money anyway.
That guy's costing you money. I can guarantee it. The one guy that isn't, maybe. I also don't know how to feel about this guy. Marvin Mims. He was a punt returner. Then he was a 96-yard. I think he had the longest touchdown in the NFL last year. Longest receiving touchdown in the NFL. 93, excuse me. What is Marvin Mims, Josh? What is he? I don't know.
He is a very interesting late round wide receiver, in my opinion. And
perfect. That a lot of it just nothing.
Down to, let me explain. Damn it. So, second year last year, everybody wants to hang on to, he was Sean Payton's first draft pick as the Broncos head coach. Quite honestly, let's be real. Sean Payton, he doesn't give a flying fuck about
Sean Payton does not care.
He doesn't care. But what we have seen from Mims is progression. And to me, that's what you want to see with young players. Everybody gets so up in arms that if a guy doesn't hit in year 1, that's it. They're dead to them, right? Because we've been spoiled with the Justin Jeffersons and the Jamar Chases and, the big time wide receivers that have popped. It's okay to say some wide receivers need development. And that's been Marvin Mims' case. He's a 5'11" wide receiver that predominantly plays outside. He has to use his speed to create separation. Yeah. And he does that quite a bit. He had 6 touchdowns last year. Here's where the yardage numbers on all 6 of those touchdowns: 12, 93, 51, 25, 32, and 7.
I'm going to make
him in the deep passing game. He creates space. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to make probably a stupid comment. You guys will correct me. You always do. Is Marvin Mims not just the Rashid Shaheed of this offense then? Because that's the vibes I'm getting from the stories you're telling.
Could very well be, but here's the fun
he's a little more versatile. But
here's the fun stats that are going to piss Joe off because it's a little bit more advanced analytics.
Of course.
Last year in yards per route run, he was 5th in the NFL.
I don't mind that stat. That's a hard stat. That's fine.
Yeah. Yards after the catch per reception led the NFL, 12.3.
Isn't that just yards after the catch?
Is it all yards?
Isn't that just yards after the catch?
No, you catch the ball and then run. That's yak per reception.
Yeah.
But so it's just yak.
Yeah, it's just yak per reception. No, so basically it's calculating total yards after the catch and then dividing it by the number of receptions.
Oh, okay. I've always understood. Okay, yeah.
Okay, stupid stat. Continue.
Okay. Led the NFL. The next closest wide receiver, he was 12.3. Next closest, 8.5. He can separate. He can pull away. He has that kind of speed.
Was Rashid
very fast. Exactly. Okay. But
he played 5 games.
Look at catch percentage. 78% catch percentage on 55 targets last year.
It's pretty good.
5th highest passer rating when targeted.
Good Lord.
Okay. He is a quality wide receiver that doesn't get the opportunity that he should be getting. So again, now heading into year 3 in this same offense against Devon Vele, a rookie Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, who Joe says sucks. There's plenty of opportunity here opposite Cortland Sutton.
Well, to be fair, his only competition is Troy Franklin. So he's beating him out by miles.
And that's what I'm saying, because they're essentially utilizing Vele in the slot.
And he's not going to run it.
Has that kind of size. They're comparing him to Michael Thomas,
but he's
probably going to be a big slot possession guy, right?
Yeah.
They need to be able to get down the field. Marvin Mims right now is set up for those Lance Moore, Robert Meacham kind of roles where it's really only going to be at most probably like 80-something targets, right? So
you tell me he's Robert Meacham, I'm drafting him.
Yeah. The final 6 games last year, he had 31 targets. You stretch that over a full season, that's an 88 target per season pace. That's not a great stat for a wide receiver when we're talking about, breakouts or anything like that. But at wide receiver 59 prices, that has the potential to be a top 36 wide receiver in the NFL.
And then it brings up
boomer bust.
And then it brings up Joe's point though. You could draft Marvin Mims right now as the wide receiver too. If they trade Cortland Sutton,
I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
You don't think it'll play out well? Okay.
If he sees number one
Mims
coverage,
isn't going to be a wide receiver 1 though. They'll utilize Evan Ingram more in the passing game. They'll do what Sean Payton does, which is distribute the ball elsewhere. They'll target Vele. They'll target Bryant out of the slot. Do the running backs. Like they threw I believe it was the most targets to the wide receiver position last year, which was actually Sean Payton's least amount of targets per target percentage to the wide receiver position over his last 6 seasons calling plays.
I didn't like that.
He's traditionally in that 26% range to running backs.
You killed it on the Marvin Mims stat. I didn't get mad outside of the yak per reception, which is just just call it yak. It's just tell me his yak number. That's fine. I don't care. That bullshit. The fuck was that?
It's target percentage, Joe. That's all it is. That's what I was talking.
You wrapped it up into some weird concoction that was was an algebra statement, and I didn't need that. I just needed basic addition subtraction, right? I didn't need A plus B.
The point is, he can get 80 targets. That is perfectly fine from a wide receiver 59 and has the potential for a top 35.
Agreed. He's just boomer bust. So if you want him in your lineup, you're going to have to live and die by it.
Depending on how deep the league is, though, that's a flex play.
I was going to say, I was taking a week off of best ball draft so I could start just clean out my system and start drafting new teams. I think I'm going in with some Marvin Mims targets
All I know is if Marvin Mims is on his team, Troy Franklin is not.
It's
and
not
that's
100%.
A good thing.
So that's a win.
I mean, they're literally like, if Marvin Mims goes down, Troy Franklin is now the deep
slide
threat.
into that role and just
he slides right into it because it's not Vele, it's not Pat Bryant, it's not. I mean, Sutton's obviously the one that he's not going anywhere.
Marvin Mims' rookie season, he averaged almost 18 yards per reception.
Because all they did was
targeted him a little bit more. That obviously went down some, but now there's more talent on this offense. You have to worry about Evan Ingram. You have to worry about Dobbins and Harvey at the running back position, where the running backs couldn't generate anything last year.
Exactly.
So now all that does is open up the offense more. And now you have 15 plus yards per reception potential with Marvin Mims on top of 80 some target potential, 75% plus catch percentage. Those are numbers I like to see. I'm all about that at that price point.
Now I know why I don't like Marvin Mims. It's because I don't like boomer bust receivers. Yeah. He's a good player. Like that's what I say on the field. I'm like, he's a good
when
player.
You're getting at wide receiver 50 some odd price points, every wide receiver there is boomer bust at that point. Most of them aren't even going to see or sniff your lineup.
Yeah, but that's like I want like, give me 10 points. I don't want 2 or 20. Like
you want Wan'Dale Robinson. You don't want.
I don't want Wan'Dale Robinson. That's the crazy part.
That's your 10 points, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I want Khalil Shakir. Like
but you're not getting Khalil Shakir.
But you're not getting Khalil Shakir at wide receiver 59 price point. That's the point.
He's in the 40s. That's good.
No, Khalil Shakir's in the high 30s, maybe 20s.
He is not in the 20s.
Yeah,
Where have I been?
He is. He's the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo.
I'll tell you exactly where he's going.
He was the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo last year, and that didn't mean anything.
Shakir
but we didn't know who he was.
On underdog. Wow. Wide receiver 44 on underdog.
Fuck the both of you.
Wow.
Screw both of you. That's who I'm taking. Yeah. I'll say a lot of things I don't want to. I shouldn't say. Screw the both of you. Yeah.
Wow.
Oops.
When I tell you, that's the guys.
I have so much.
This isn't live. Just know I'm more right than they are most of the time.
And
all you need to know.
And one of us who isn't Joe drafts a ton of best ball and should have known that. So,
I haven't done a single draft this year. Ryan's done 1 million. He didn't know Khalil Shakir was available.
I've done way
this
too many
motherfucker
drafts.
was taking.
I thought he was going.
Franklin.
I thought he was going a lot closer to like Chris Godwin and guys like that. He's actually going a lot closer to Stephon Diggs. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
And New England's like thinking about like if we can acquire a top receiver, we're gonna get rid of Diggs. So imagine that. Fuck the both of you. Training camp battle to watch. Running back. Yeah. I'll break this one down like I did in Tampa. J.K. Dobbins gets hurt. Insert R.J. Harvey.
Perfect.
Do we need more of an explanation? It's going to be split. And then when Dobbins gets hurt, it's R.J. Harvey's show.
Yeah.
That's Sean Payton.
I think Dobbins will end up starting the year as Harvey gets going, and then you'll start to see the shift. And honestly, it's going to be the same way that it'll likely play out with the Chargers, right? Najee will start the season as the guy, Omari and Hampton. But I think the difference is that Najee doesn't have the durability concerns that J.K. Dobbins does.
Correct.
I mean, we saw it last year with J.K. He only played 12 games, right? But he looked really good when he played, and that's awesome. So now he comes in, fresh start, new offense, new system, everything brand new. Now he's got rookie competition. How's he going to fare? But Dobbins has always been in those timeshare roles. So that's why, like, I love his price point. Like, fucking give me a starting RB at RB 40. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me that all day. And if I have to move him in week 7 because he's losing carries, so be it.
I just love that the requirement to be in Sean Payton's offense as a running back is 5'8" in 210. That's or 5'11", 230 pounds. There's no in between. It's Audric Estime or RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins are built the exact same. They're the profiled the exact same human. They're both 5'8", 5'9", 210 pounds. So when J.K. goes down, it's RJ. Estime might get some goal line carries just because he's fat.
And not very effective.
Not effective at all. They're going to be 2 yard, maybe 1 yard carries. Maybe. Let's say RJ Harvey's a bowling ball. He's 5'8", 212 pounds. Whew. For reference, I'm 5'10", 175. So add 50 pounds to me.
I'll say, for reference, I know exactly what that looks like.
Like, are you saying RJ Harvey looks like you?
I just don't have any muscle is my issue.
I was about to say. If RJ Harvey looks like you, I think I'm avoiding him in all my fantasy drafts.
I think he has 2 working ACLs though, so
this is true.
Yeah.
Best bets. Josh, you have 2. Bo Nix over 24.5 passing touchdowns and Marvin Mims over 550.5 receiving yards. That's even money on DraftKings.
I mean, Bo Nix literally passed this last year, and I get plus money on it. Are you kidding me? I'll take that all day. The Marvin Mims one's a bit of a stretch, but for me, like if I'm betting on him in fantasy drafts, I'm going to bet that he can cross 550. He had 503, I believe, last year, and that was his career high in 2 seasons. So
he needs 3 100-yard receiving games.
I have him at 860 yards. Like, I think he smashes this. So.
I have him at 794. So yeah. I think he smashes it.
So what are we worried about? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this is.
But again, these are just projections. But again, I mean, Sean Payton. This is what he does, right? He fucks with everything, fantasy, betting, a whole 9 yards. Because I think Marvin Mims should score 80 targets, but he might say, you know what?
Troy Franklin.
They might go to Devon Vele. They might go to Pat Bryant. They might go to Troy Franklin. Right?
So realistically. There's a chance Sean Payton gives this guy a 200-yard game, and he's already halfway there.
Yeah.
There's a realistic chance of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Every year an underrated defense. Because they don't.
Well, not this year. They are coming in as the number 1 rated defense. So
Agreed. And this is like the first time since.
And they weren't even the number 1 defense last year.
No. Since last year they weren't rated very high going into the season. They actually struggled in the beginning of the season. Then they got it together. But, I mean, the only guy that you could, like, anybody could pick off the street is Pat Surtain. Like, that's a dog right there. Alex Singleton. You're welcome. You're welcome, IDP players in fantasy community
Every
that listen
Buffalo
to this fucking show.
You're
welcome for this guy who's like, oh, he's going to take over Josie Jewell's position. And everyone's like, I don't know about that. Josie Jewell's pretty good. Tell me where Josie Jewell is now. On one of the worst teams in the NFL, in Carolina. Bye, bitch. Alex Singleton, elite. From the Philadelphia Eagles, by the way. That's where they got him from. Mm-hmm. Dre Greenlaw's a bum, but he's on the Broncos now. They're probably the best secondary in the NFL.
Yeah,
Ufunga, Jahdae Barron, Pat Surtain, Riley Moss can shove it, but I mean it's pretty good.
He played pretty well for games last year, though.
He did. There was just like he's very hot and cold.
Yeah,
Pat Surtain's a lock every single time he's on the field. And from what I keep hearing, Jahdae Barron should have been drafted inside the top 10, and they stole him where they drafted him at 20, I think. So, not the sexiest pass rush on planet Earth. Nick Bonito is good, but Zach Allen's underrated. John Franklin Myers is a solid defensive end, and then they drafted Savion Jones as a defensive end in the 3rd round. All around really good. I will smash Alex Singleton's over on his tackles. Nobody is stealing those from him. Dre Greenlaw is not stealing tackles from him. Smash the over on Alex Singleton for his tackles. Next episode. Oh, baby. The perennial 500 team.
I've been dreading doing this episode with Joe.
I saw a meme that said, play with Mason Rudolph. Go 9.
I saw this too.
Trade Fields. Trade Russell Wilson. Get rid of Mason Rudolph. Sign Aaron Rodgers. Go 9-8.
Yep.
Couldn't have been more perfect. Who are we talking about, folks? Mike Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin's a good coach. Sucks that he's never going to get any good talent on his offense because they're 9-8.
We'll talk about this on the next episode.
He's a good coach to get them to 9-8.
Okay, because this is the first time you've said he's a good coach in 3 years.
To get them to 9-8.
Okay.
What can he do after that?
Not a whole lot.
His Super Bowl win came off of Bill Cowher's roster. Fun fact.
I'm taking the win on he's a good coach.
He's a good coach to get them to 9-8. That's it. That's all I'm saying. He's a good coach to get him to 9-8. Pittsburgh's had 3 fucking head coaches in their entire existence.
That's true.
Move on suck for a year and get good players.
Get a quarterback.
Anybody, please, anybody on that offense. Actually, don't, because I love when the Steelers suck. But, like, do it for your fan base. My goodness. Talking Steelers, next episode 21. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be, fun for me. I like shitting on this team. But, like, we have to talk about Aaron Rodgers. That's not fun. That's not fun.
Actually, I don't think either of us highlighted Aaron Rodgers, so we really don't have to talk about Aaron Rodgers.
We're going to talk about him.
I'll say he plays into my guy, though. So.
He's on the team. He's probably throwing to one of the guys that you highlighted.
Yes.
So, for Josh, Ryan, myself, you can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. We will see you on the next.